chatting with Jen Pollock Michel about her book, Surprised by Paradox. Thank you for joining us, Jen.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me, Martin. It's good to chat.
This book delves into the idea that not all questions sort of have straightforward answers. How did the idea for this book come about in your life?
Yeah, I say at the beginning of the book that it really started in a counselor's office. It started with a messy family relationship, somebody in my extended family that there was just dysfunction in the relationship. And I sort of went into the counselor's office asking, what do I do? You know, do I sever this relationship because this person was lying to me, or do I just suffer the lying because this person, you know, sort of needs my help? And so I kind of had that either or proposition, and strangely, or very interestingly enough, I should say, the counselor looked back at me as we were chatting and just said, do you think there could be more answers than that? And that really was sort of the beginning of this kind of line of curiosity in my own spiritual life. How often do I just kind of fall into an either or kind of framework, you know, and I lack the faith, or I lack the imagination for even seeing what God could do beyond that. And that's where it started. And, you know, it sort of kind of went from there.
It touches a lot on the themes that life and the knowledge of God is a mystery, that it's not all very obvious, one answer, that there are questions, more questions than there are answers sometimes.
Yeah, I think as Christians, we get really uncomfortable with that. I mean, I think as people who are committed to the truth, and we worship Jesus who says, I am the truth, you know, we want to be able to convey the truth, speak the truth, understand the truth. And a lot of times our human kind of knowledge and understanding, we find the limits of that. You know, we follow lines of curiosity, and we figure out that God's ways are not our ways and his thoughts are not our thoughts. And so one of the things that was really helpful to me as I was writing the book was just my editor sort of pushing me into the direction of paradox, truthfully, because it started out more of this idea of mystery and the things that are unknowable and aren't always certain in a life with God. And she said, I really feel like you're talking more about paradox. And that is really to say that there are these truths that we have to hold into tension with each other. So it's not just this dismissal of truth or this abandonment of truth, but it's entering into this idea that, okay, what do I do when I have to affirm two true things at the same time that don't seem to fit together? Right. And so that's a lot of what the book explores.
My absolute favorite song of all time is a song called The Strong Hand of Love. It was written by Mark Hurd, been recorded by lots of people, including Bruce Coburn. And there's a line in the song that says, we can laugh and we can cry, and we never see the strong hand of love hidden in the shadows. And this is part of the mystery of God, is that he's hidden and yet he's right in front of us. And I just think that that's an interesting thought, and part of the mystery, part of the paradox of finding truth.
Absolutely. I mean, it's in God's nature both to self-reveal and to hide. And both of those things are true about God. And I'm thankful for all that he's revealed. I mean, when we think about Jesus, you know, he is God's best sermon. God didn't leave us in the dark, in the complete dark. He wants to be known. He has revealed himself and who he is, but he hasn't revealed everything. And I think that's one of the invitations of paradox, is just this, a humility, a posture of humility in our faith. This idea that there are things I don't understand. Even with my diligent, careful study of the scripture, I encounter limits to my own understanding. I can feel frustrated about that, or I could also I could enter into those places with humility and also worship.
All right, well, the book is Surprised by Paradox. Jen, thank you so much for chatting about the book today. Keep yourself safe in isolation, and we appreciate your time.
Thank you so much, Martin.